Hi, I'm going to do a quick demo of how to set up a product in the design tool for pet head pajamas. So we start by going to the server, logging in, and then you get this view here of all the products. I have made versions of the first two, although they will be redone because the pitch of the pet heads is not right. So I'm going to start with a completely blank product to show you how to do it. So I'll take the adult pajama pants, and this is the product page for that with all the details. We can just press open in design tool, and then you'll have this view here. So we start by selecting one of the pattern pieces, and on the right hand side we've got this selection of things we can do with that, and we can add a pattern, choose pattern, and you can see all your background images are in this folder here. And we'll take cat woman, a cat mum, and then you can see like the pattern is it's tiled like in a square way. If you apply stagger, then each row is like offset by half the width, and then you get a more less repeating pattern. And that's one of the patterns almost done. Tiles and images that come into this view are always 10 by 10 inches. So this tile is now 10 by 10 inches. Or sorry, that's multiplied by the pattern size, which is default 0.5, which would mean they're 5 by 5. We want them to be 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So we simply change that to 45, and now they are 4.5 inches. So we've got slightly more tiles. So when we're happy with that, we can simply press apply to all, and then we have the entire design. So that was one layer of tiling. We need to now add another layer of tiling. So what we do is we have to select the piece again, or any piece, and now you can see that's the one layer that we've made. And so to add a layer, we just go pattern again, add pattern, choose pattern, and you need to choose this one called image 21. This is like a preview, so you can see what you're doing, but this image is obviously replaced by whatever the user uploads. So it's important to use this one called image 21 because that's the one it's looking to replace on the server. So I'll add that, and then you can see we get the pattern. Again, we're going to use stagger. That shows you clearly what stagger does. It means every second row is offset by half the width. And then we need to adjust the pitch. Now these are actually the right size already, so we don't have to adjust the pattern size, but we do have to adjust the X and Y pattern spacing. These are normally linked together, but in this case we want different values for the X and the Y, so we can unlink those. Now the values that we've worked out, converting from inches to, or from centimeters to inches, and taking into consideration the width of the graphic, the figures come out to 2.87 inches, and in the Y 0.905. That gives us the exact spacing from the documentation, which is that these two should be 30 apart and these should be 20 centimeters apart. And there we go. And that's our pet heads. And then we can apply that to all the pieces the same way. Just press apply all, and there we have it. Now you can see that the pattern's sort of like, we're getting this like head cut off here. So we can adjust that. So we're looking for the best positioning of this pattern to give the best result. So we'll just start by adjusting this one slightly. You can see it's just cut off there. So we can give it an X offset. So if I start pressing here, you'll see that it starts moving across, and that's looking better. So now it's avoiding that seam, and then we can just carry on doing that on the other pieces. So I'll select this one, and you can see in the layers menu we've got the background here, and then we've got image 21. So we press this, select this layer, and now we can do an X offset on there to avoid any problems. That's actually not too bad, but and of course there can be sort of compromises here, because it's impossible to sort of avoid all seams or all seams on all sizes. Let's just move that over a bit more. So now we haven't got anything on this seam, and then we can just carry on to the rear quarter. So I think that would be this piece. Again, image 21, and then we can offset that as well. And you can either just use your mouse and click, or you can put just enter a number if you want to move it further. So I want to, in this case, I want to move this up as well. So I'll do like let's try with a -3. -5 maybe. Yeah, and that's starting to look sort of even around there. Let's have a look what it's doing on the other side. So we select this one, and let's do the same sort of thing here. I'll just go back and read what I ended up with. So I had a -5 on the Y, so you're probably going to have a -5 on the Y here as well to keep that row even. Let's do that, -5. Not looking too bad, but now we've got this getting cut off on the side seam, so we can start moving the X direction in a minus. And so we're satisfied. And then we have this design now. You know, you can carry on with this process if you're not completely satisfied with the layout. This will be the layout for all the pants, so worth using time on the first one to get it exactly as you want it. So I'm going to save that now. To save, we go up to Designs, Save, and obviously I'm going to give it a name, Cat Mom, so I can remember. That's easy to remember, and that's saved now. So that was one size of this product. I'm going to go and show you the next phase. So the next thing we would do is, you can see it, the design has come into this list of designs at the bottom of the product page. We need to assign an SKU to that. Now the SKUs here are a combination of the product SKU, which is 2BPP, and then the name of the pattern, so dash Cat Mom. So when we're looking up the SKU from your order, we combine the product ID with the design ID, and that gives us the SKU. And when we press update SKU, you can see that is now the new SKU. And although we can create sizes on the fly on the server, it's quite a heavy process, so we use this create sizes to do two things. One is to create thumbnails. I'll just reset those thumbnails. So we create thumbnails, which is for the use in the factory, so they can, have an idea if they've got the right product. And then you just this is a 3D view. Just adjust the view, save a thumbnail, maybe rotate it to the back, thumbnail, and then maybe a sort of 3D view, and you can have as many or as few thumbnails as you want. And then we need to create the size templates, so that is this button here, and now it will go through and make all the sizes for that garment, so that they're already pre-rendered on the server, ready for the pet heads to be replaced with whatever the user has uploaded. That's finished, and then we can return to the product page, and that is one garment complete, except there are more details we can do. So if we go back into the design tool, actually I'll show you a shortcut. If we press on the design down here, then it will open up the design tool with that design. So we're back to our design. We can also do a PDF preview of the design, and here it's asking us if there's any shrinkage in the material. There isn't in this case, and the width of our printer, which we can just leave as 160, not knowing where they're going to be printed. And then it will create a PDF. It just takes a few seconds, so it sends it to the print server, and then waits for a reply. And there we can see, and it's a good idea to do this and check for any issues. For example, if you have a tile that doesn't quite match, if it isn't square or something like that, then you'll get a line here. You can see this one is perfect. just close that window. We're back in the design tool. And that's the basic process. So in the design tool, we can also see the other sizes. So if I press down here, then I can see the large, and I get a preview of there. And then I can decide whether I want to do a new setup for every size, or have one setup which just covers all sizes. And that's the basic. That's not too bad. There is a slight cut off there, so if I wanted to, I could select that piece, which is this piece here. Let's say select pattern, and I can go in to thing here, and then we need to select what's called per size editing. So that means that the settings for one size are not carried over to another size. So we do per size editing, and now if I change my offset, which is at the moment -2, have I corrected? Have I got the right piece? Right, so you can see I've made a mistake here because I've selected the wrong piece. So I'll just put that back. And select the right piece, which must be this one here. I'm just going to turn off the per size editing on that one. That looks fine. So we'll select this one. Go in here, per size editing, and then I can edit. I'll just be increasing that slightly. And there you go. I think other than that, that's looking fine. And I can just go to the next size. And I have to select my my piece again. And let's have a look. And that needs to go a bit further over. So this is this is what you can use a lot of time doing. But you will get an exact replica of what you can see here when we print it. So let's take this hind quarter here into the edit for that one, and then let's move it over a bit. That was the wrong way. So that's it. I'm going to save that again. And now we can select it from our list because we want to actually overwrite that design. When I press save, it will ask me if I want to overwrite. If you know you want to overwrite, you can always just check that box. Design exists, overwrite, yes, so save. The next thing I want to show you is, so we have this design and we want to create the next design. Now of course we don't have to go through the entire process again. We can replace this pattern with another pattern to make a new product. So we already have it open, but let's say that we hadn't. So I could press this one to open it, and then I could save this as something else. So I could say save as, for example, tennis ball. Save that. Select any piece. Go into our image, the background pattern, and then we say replace pattern, and then we can choose our tennis ball, and it replaces not only that piece but anywhere where that pattern is being used. All the other settings are identical, so just save that again. Tennis ball, save. Now, going back to, you might have to refresh this page before you actually see that one. First thing, we'll assign the correct code to this one. And we'll create the sizes. And we can save some thumbnails. These are just for internal use, so we can visually see that if we've got the right product on the factory floor. And then we create the templates. That's finished. I should point out, because we changed this design, we've done some like extra movement of the pieces. We need to create those again as well, so repeat the process. And that's all you need to do to prepare a product for dynamic pet heads. So now we would continue with the other designs. So we can open either of these ones. Save it as a different design. Can I remember? Yeah, let's just take the plaid, because the plaid is slightly different. Save that as plaid. And the difference is that the actual tile is a different size. So let's do that. So selected a piece. You can see that this is the background layer. Press on that. Start editing. Replace the pattern with plaid. And you can see that the sizing's not right. If our memory serves, that's 7.5. And like you can see, it's only changed on this one because we've got this piece selected, but we can apply all, and that will apply those changes to all the other pieces as well. So there we have our plaid pajamas. And the same procedure, we just save. So with the plaid, it's more important to also match up the background. So we can do that the same way as we did with the dog heads. Let's choose that one. Then we can also do X and Y offsets with those as well. So this will be a Y offset, increasing the Y offset. Same with the X. You have a good match. Do the same thing on the other side. There we have some nicely matched sides. And then we could, depending on how you know exact we want to be, we could also offset them both to get a different pattern here. But I'm going to say that's acceptable. And yeah, we'll save that as well. There's a lot more to know about the design tool, but that's all the features you need to know to make this particular product. So now that we have this one to finish off, and 2 more products to go, and then we're finished. Thank you.